I'm in the mood for fruits, so I walk up to an apple tree behind my house, expecting to pluck some oranges to quench my fruity thirst. Unfortunately, there are no oranges on that tree. It's all apples. And no matter how often they claim that an apple a day keeps the doctor away, I am not into apples. I want oranges. Why can't this tree give me oranges? I can already imagine a good number of you wondering if my head needs to get checked. Well, I can tell you I am good. I just want oranges from an apple tree. What's wrong with that? I like oranges. I want oranges, and I want it from this tree. Call it an apple tree or whatever, but it's a tree, and I'm an adult. I know what I want. God gives us what we want if we ask, right? It's the only tree I got. I believe in God and I believe in miracles. Maybe I'll go to my closet and pray harder. I'll wait for God to work that miracle and grow my faith while I wait. After all, nothing is impossible with God. I know y'all are wondering where I'm going with this rambling, but this is the story of so many of us. We are sitting underneath an apple tree, fasting and praying, waiting for God to do the impossible and throw down to us oranges from an apple tree. Religion has turned so many of us into robots that are not willing to use the brain and the mind God gave us to think our way through situations we found ourselves in. Thus, many of us are stuck because our expectations are warped. Our thinking is messed up. But we got faith and are hopeful, persistently believing, though time rolls on and we grow weary of waiting while nothing is happening. As we sit tired but patient under that apple tree, hoping for oranges to drop into our hands, we struggle with doubt. Does God still answer prayers? Does miracles still happen in our times and days? Can God really do the impossible? Will my faith eventually work, or am I wasting my time? Should I give up or continue to believe and hope for oranges underneath an apple tree? Here is how Jesus answered that question in Matthew 12:33, paraphrased in my words. For an apple tree does not bear orange fruit, nor does an orange tree bear apple fruit. For every tree bears its own fruit. That is why a tree is known by its fruit. God has put natural laws in place that even He honors to ensure orderliness. God does not break the laws He instituted, and He is not about to turn a lawbreaker for any of us. In 1 Corinthians 14:33, Paul said God is not the author of confusion. He is not one of these politicians who make laws they do not respect or intend to abide by. God set His word as the standard, and He does not override or break His word or order. If this is the case, why do we sit under an apple tree, praying and trying to twist the arms of God into breaking the order He put in place and give us what we want, when there are so many other ways to quench a genuine, thirsty orange craving? Here's our first question. Can you get your journal, please? Under which tree are you sitting right now, expecting God to work the magic or miracle to get you what you want? Can you step back a bit and review your expectations along with your approach? Nothing is wrong with nursing expectations, but something isn't right if we are not lining up those expectations with God's word and order. Something is wrong when we are pushing God to break order and do our bidding. Our faith may be okay, but our knowledge is twisted, and unfortunately, knowledge influences understanding and directs hope. That means if our knowledge is wrong, our understanding is founded on a faulty foundation, and our hope will be misdirected and most likely disappointed no matter how much faith we apply. Here's what Jesus said about that. I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. If anyone does not abide in me, he is cast out as a branch and is withered, and they gather them and throw them into the fire, and they are burned. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, you will ask whatever you desire, and it shall be done for you. By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, so you will be my disciples. John 15:5-8. This is how James put it. You ask and do not receive, because you ask amiss, that you may spend it on your pleasures. Please get your journal. Let's step back once again. What have you been asking of God? The oranges of your expectations. Can you list them? How do they line up with God's word and order? Because if our expectations are not aligned, we may just be wasting time thinking we are waiting on God. Some of us are discouraged because we have been waiting and praying, doing everything we know, and God appears not to be doing anything concerning our desires. I'm not saying you are wrong or that your desires are misdirected. We are just drawing from real life lessons so we can perform some relevant heart check. You want to be sure that you have done your own part and that you have done it well, so that we can keep our eyes on God and wait on Him. But if there is any area where we are waiting for oranges underneath an apple tree, we want to identify those areas with the understanding that God is not a lawbreaker and He won't turn a magician for us. We want to correct errors of expectations or strategies where they exist, so we can not only identify genuine needs but also position ourselves in the right location as we await their arrival. It is not enough to know what is right. It is equally important to do right and to be in the right place at the right time in order not to miss something we are believing God for. And this exercise will help us recognize and do the needful so we can confidently say we have done our part the best we can and be encouraged as we continue to trust and wait on God to do His part. In what areas have you been pushing God through your faith to go contrary to His word and structure? Can you identify the apple tree you have been sitting under? How are you going to change your position and approach now that your perspective is changed? Another big lesson I learned in this direction is that after you have done the alignment of those oranges with God's word and moved over to an orange tree to await their arrival, some of us get stuck, forever looking up the tree, watching every process of growth until our neck hurts or go into spasms from exertion. We get sick if not tired of waiting because the tree is taking forever to fruit. But the truth is that there is also a natural order of growth and productivity. Every tree produces in due season. We are not called to sit under the tree and watch while it grows. And if we try that, we will grow weary, disappointed, and frustrated because it will seem to take forever according to our timing. But according to the timing of life, which is how God works, that tree is just going through a regular process and taking the normal time. What then are we supposed to be doing after we have done our part in terms of expectations and positions? Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and feed on His faithfulness. Delight yourself also in the Lord, and He shall give you the desires of your heart. Commit your ways to the Lord. Trust also in Him, and He shall bring it to pass. He shall bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your justice as the noonday. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Do not fret because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who brings wicked schemes to pass. Psalm 37, 3-7. After you have done the best you know, trust God to do His part, and He will in the best possible timing. Don't worry about it. Rest in that trust, knowing that God is faithful to perform and to perfect whatever concerns you. Now, this is the confidence that we have in Him, that if we ask anything according to His will, He hears us. And if we know that He hears us concerning whatever we ask, we know that we have the petitions that we have asked of Him. May grace and wisdom help you to identify and align your expectations with God's word, to move into the right position and be prepared for the delivery in due time. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with family and friends. Be inspired. You are a star, and it's your time to shine.